Welcome back to Startup Q&A. The question that we got was, how do I protect an idea for a service-based business? That's tricky because when you are trying to protect something, whether it's you're going to explain it to an investor, you're going to explain it to a family member, or you're trying to look for a co-founder. So most people will tell you that ideas are easy and the execution is hard. I agree with that. And also, if you're going to do a service-based business, it is a little bit tougher to protect yourself. If you have a product, engineering, IP, stuff like that, it's a little bit easier. You can get a patent on it. You can get it trademarked if it's a really cool design. However, with service-based businesses, since it's more of an idea or a manifestation of an idea, until you get a business model sketched out, you can't really patent or protect an actual idea, if that makes sense. But when you get the business model, you can patent, you can trademark a business model. You can protect a business model, write it out, sketch it out. You have a really cool idea, and therefore you want to put that into play. You see that all the time with places like Facebook, when they come out with IP reports through Recode or Mashable, it used to come through, or TechCrunch, you would see that it wouldn't necessarily be the app or how the app functions. It would be the revenue model that they wanted to get out of the Facebook app, and that's what they were trying to protect, the IP of how they generate revenue. That's possible. But if you're going to just talk to someone and say, I have a really cool idea for a next generation plumbing business or something like that, that's really hard to protect. You can, but it comes down to, do you really want to pay the money to try and protect something like that? Or do you just want to believe what we all say, which is execution is the hardest part. I have a folder full of ideas, Evernote folders full of ideas. And not only that, but I actually used to make business plans for every idea that I had, just to make sure that they were viable in case I wanted to pick them up and plug and play. I now have a one-pager for every idea. It has the tagline, the target market, the business model, the revenue model, what it'll cost, the process, the website. It has all this stuff in there, and those are really easy to come up with. I can do them in my sleep. However, executing on those ideas, that's what's hard. And so I wouldn't worry about that right now. If you just have an idea for a service business, it's likely that you haven't taken that next step to actually start talking to customers and validating the idea, or even hiring or buying the equipment or whatever. And so if you're that early on, I wouldn't even worry about it. Now, it's possible someone takes your idea, they start a $1 billion company. But in reality, is that why they started the $1 billion company? Because of your idea? Or is it because they had some type of skill set that you didn't have to get it off the ground fast enough? That might not be a skill set. It might just be capital. I encounter that all the time with some of the stuff that I'm working on where I don't have the capital. For instance, Techstar Studios. Techstars just announced that they were going to do the studio model, and everyone was ranting and raving about how awesome it was and all this stuff. And every time I look at an announcement like that, Clearbank was another one. And I love those companies, by the way. I think it validates my ideas. But I've been working on an idea where you exchange equity in regards to services like marketing, branding, sales, operations, hiring, all that stuff. I've been working on that since last May. So it kind of hurts a little bit. And that's something that they didn't take my idea, obviously, but they have the capital, they have the resources to be able to take those ideas and put them out there and get all the press from it. Whereas I don't have that type of resource. So in that case, yeah, it might hurt a little bit to see someone take an idea and have more resources than you do, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win in the end. And it also doesn't mean that there can't be two of you. Lime and Bird came out at the exact same time or close to it. Lyft and Uber are also very close. You have Sonder and Airbnb. You have a bunch of different kind of parallel ideas that work out, and really they're just tweaks on the same business model. So for Uber and Lyft just has a friendlier vibe, if you will, and they claim to be more driver centric. I don't have any judgments, but it's not really that big of a difference. Same thing with Lime and Bird. and Jump, even because Jump is owned by Uber. So you look at those three, it's undifferentiated. So don't worry about your ideas, worry more about the execution. How are you going to put those ideas into action? What's the business model? How are you going to make revenue? Is it ad supported? If it is, I would hold off on that a little bit and try and figure out another revenue model, because ads are becoming harder and harder to pull off. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if it doesn't. I can record another one that's just like, no, don't do this. But I like giving everyone context as to why my answers are the way they are, and kind of using those examples of different startups and ways that you can kind of jump off of those mini case studies, if you will, to learn that ideas really aren't shit. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps. Subscribe below. See you next time.